Today is an absolute beautiful day. And when I say that, listen, I am in such a good mood, first and foremost. And one of the reasons why I just got through working out and it just feels so good to release toxins and get things out of you and get worries out, whatever may be going on. So anyway, I start the show with saying, welcome. If this is your first time, buckle up. If you are used to being back, here we go again. And today, I'm telling you, I am so excited. I am super excited about my guest today. Because honestly, I call him Papa. I call him Father. And that's all I know him as, right? The second half of that is Coach. And as you see, if you've been following the show lately, I've been going backwards, right? Because it's a time of reflecting and going into reflection of what has me here today and who helped me in my life to get me here today. And this guy that I'm about to bring on, he forever changed my perspective because he took coaching and he made it his purpose. A lot of people take coaching and live by the title, but this man, he lived it every day. Me growing up without a father, he was a father. He was my father. And I don't want to prolong it because I want to get into it because I got too much good stuff to talk to this great gentleman about. But everybody, please welcome one of the greatest men I've ever met in my life, my high school coach, Coach Ernest Joe. Coach, what is going on? How you doing?
I'm doing great, Ray. And I want to just thank you for the opportunity to be a part of your show today and share memories and have some good laughs.
So before I get serious, let me jump into the first memory. 1998, I called you and said, Coach, I need you to come see.
Go ahead.
I need you to come see my football game up here in Baltimore. And Coach, you said what to me?
I said, I had to confess to you because I always told you guys I'm gonna be honest with you. And I told you I never flown before. And it was 1998 and I never flown. And I knew to get to Baltimore, it'd take a couple of days to drive there. And I say, Ray, I never flown. And you said to me, you said, Coach, now you were tough on us out on the field and pushed up. What you gonna do? I said, I'm gonna fly. I had to stand up, man up. And I had a chance to fly up, but I held my wife's hand there and back, and she made a story about it. But that's
what's the story? What's the story the wife made about that hand story? I got to get a hand story.
She got back, and she created some things and just told people I held her hand so tight that last time it was like that is at the wedding, But I was just nervous, and it happened. But I was excited. I think Absolutely. You guys were playing Pittsburgh then. I think you guys won the game, and I was excited to see you come out of that tunnel and see about 70,000 people go crazy. Those coach was proud.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But I'm gonna go back, Coach. I gotta go back, right? And I just gotta ask this because a lot of people don't know, right? Like, why is being a father to your players more important than being a coach?
Well, I knew this. I was blessed. Let me just say this. I was blessed to have my mom and dad all my life.
Yeah.
My mother passed away in 2012. My father passed away in 2018. So I knew what the structure was to have both parents in the house for those years. So I knew as a coach is a individual that can influence those young generation. Yeah. And so I was going to try to give what was given to me by my parents to a group of young men that wanted to strive to be better and to be successful and have something in life. So I always portrayed, and it make no difference what you look like, right, where you come from. I was going to be a father figure for all the guys there on that team. And also in my classroom, I was going to be that for those students. Try to give them good advice.
Why don't you think none of those students ever tried you before?
Well, tell you the truth, my hands are registered with Polk County Sheriff Department and the Lakeland Police Department. They registered. So no, once they found that out, they didn't want any of that. No, I think that's what I tell them. When I was principal, I told them the same thing. But no, I think they understood, right. And those who didn't, they got to know me better, and they knew I didn't mean it for their bad. I meant for the good. Yeah. And so I was successful with most of all of them.
So when you bought, so for everybody to know, Coach had this big red pickup truck, and on this red pickup truck, he had a light that shines so bright that when he turned the light on you, he would blind you. And I'm trying to figure out why was it important to you that if we was on the corner doing something that we shouldn't have been doing, why would you come shine that light on you? And why did you start? Why did you start this?
Well, it was the same thing. It was, I knew this. I knew you guys, wasn't looking for trouble. Trouble can find you. So I used to tell you, I'm coming through the hood. I'm coming through the neighborhood, and I'm going to put that light out. And if I catch you, you're going to see me in practice. And so right up near the wash house, by the time they hear that big truck coming, I see them taking off. That was good. So they understood. And see, once you tell somebody something and they see you're going to do it, so they knew that. So right. I know they probably went and found a way to say, now listen, I'll tell you when this truck comes, if it comes past this place. But it was, somebody else was just talking about that the other day, man. I can't believe you brought that up, that I would come in the neighborhood with that light on and those things. But that was just love. And I want to protect you guys and, just try to keep you and things like that.
I remember I only experienced that one time. Remember when I was standing at the 7-Eleven yep. and I was on that corner and you pulled up and you put that light on my face and you said it's time to get home. And I ain't never ran home so fast in my life.
Yeah, and you weren't far from there. And no. That's the way we were taken care of, Ray. Let me just say this. The old coaches of the day, and especially those that was in the community, that's the way they would, hey, I don't want to see you such and such a place. And it's called being disciplined.
Yes.
And things like that. So I was just giving back what was given to me. But I had a little fun. Now, on the front of that pickup truck, I don't know if you remember, it was a pair of praying hands. And it had a camper on the back where I had some church chairs in there. I would go pick kids up for school, take them home and things like that. Make sure they're there.
Absolutely.
So that pickup truck was it paid the price.
I knew the pickup truck very well. I rode in the front seat being taken home. I rode in the back seat. Back with a lot of other people dropping us off at different stops. I'm telling you, I think people got to understand what you did. I mean, I'm telling you, there was at least 20, 30 athletes at a time in this truck. There was probably 20, 30 stops that you had to make before you were getting home, Coach.
Oh.
I mean, I'm talking, it was legendary. It was legendary. I tell this story all the time. People in my, that a coaching is one thing. Being a father is something different. Yeah. And you were more excited about seeing a better man than you was seeing a better football player.
But you guys, on the other hand, Ray, was taking care of me too. Right. You guys come to practice every day, you work hard, and it's nothing I would let you guys go without. I've taken athletes home. My wife fixed that meal plan for them. If some of them got to spend the night to the Saturday or something, their parents might not be in, that's you. But you guys were sacrificing for, Coach Joe. You guys were making our program better. So I just felt whatever it took to make you guys successful, I was going to do that. So Coach, that's what that was about.
You told me my junior year, when you got to me my junior year, you looked at me and you said, I don't play guys both ways.
Oh, yeah.
I say,
Yes.
I say, coach, but I'm really good, coach. I can do something with it. And you held to your guns, but then our senior year comes up and we had a slew of injuries. And my goodness, these injuries hit us so fast. And it was out of control. Give me the story where you remember when me and you, this is when I told a young kid today, linebacker for the Packers, I told him today, go speak to your coach as a man and not a player.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's when a coach will hear you, but you got to speak to them like a man. And I remember coming up to you when Jason, Carlos McCaffrey got hurt in Lake Wales.
Yeah.
And I remember coming up to you because you was running Jason 28 sweep, 29 sweep. And I said, coach, I said, I know the plays. Let me run the ball. What made you change your philosophy that you've had for so many years?
Yeah.
And buy into that one conversation?
Well, let me take you back a little further.
Okay.
When I took over the program, you know, I came out of the Dreadnought program, and nobody ever. We won a state championship in 1986 without any athletes going both ways. So I had a mindset that when I took over, I was going to do the same thing. So what you did, and I tell people this, see, a coach truly listened to his players. And you just kept bugging the heck out of him. You say, coach, I can do more than one thing. You said that I can run the ball. I can run back punch. And you convinced me. And then we began to give everybody two positions. But boss, I'm going to tell you something. When I did see that you delivered on what you said, I kind of wish I would have listened the first year, because I ain't gonna tell them what would have happened. But you changed my mind. You changed my mind. You were consistent and persistent, that coming in and saying, hey, coach, we got, and once we did that, and the coaches said, yeah, we want to do that. And I told them what we were going to do, and we created an offense. You had an offense position, they had a defense position, but the rest was history, boss. People don't know that you could run the air out of the football.
They didn't know, coach. Coach, I used to tote that pill, coach.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I still was kind of scary because I wanted the DC defense win championship.
Yes, sir.
I never wanted you to get tired. And so we played one of Haven. It was you and the Denmark show.
Dimitri Denmark.
You ran a 59-yard punt return. You got over 100 yards on the ground. And that Monday when I came to school and you were up front, I said, oh, my God. I said, oh, geez, I ain't never seen you up front at me like that. I said, when did I heard it, man? And you said, coach, I need to talk to you. Y'all don't know if you remember this conversation.
I do remember the conversation. I know exactly where you're going.
And I said, Ray, let's sit down, man. I said, what's wrong? He said, coach, he said, look, I don't mind running the ball.
Run me early.
But you run, yes, sir. You said the other night, you just run me late and you go, he said, you got to run me when I got fresh legs. And I said to myself, first of all, I was excited. I'm getting excited right now. Chill bump. I was saying, thank you, Lord, that he's not hurt. But if he said it, that he wanted, and we played Haines City that next week, I gave you the ball on the first offensive play, and you went 81 yards. And then I just threw my hand up and looked, and I said, whatever you tell me, Lord, from here on out, we going with it. So that was it, man. I learned to listen. And I know you guys were passionate, and you probably don't remember when Bartow was beating the brakes off us.
Bartow was beating us 13-0. The principal came in there crying at halftime.
Yes, sir.
And what I came and told you, what I said.
You said, coach, say the big bone. You said the big wishbone. And now let me say this. I'm not going to run nothing that we don't practice. We used to practice that every day. We had a 5-minute period. And you guys said, and you can say, big bone, coach, big bone. That's what we got to do. So we switched up, gave you the ball. Matter of fact, I went on a 4th and 10. You got the first down, came back, gave you the ball again. You go 40 yards down the field, and the rest was history. And you know what that coach told me 2 years later? He said, when you guys got in the wishbone, he said, my kids became afraid of you all. I said, oh my God, you guys, and see, that's what I'm saying. You can check off everything on that offensive stat, and then you guys say, hey, we know this is going to work. Give it up right there. And those are stories. Those are real stories. You ain't got to create that. I know that happened.
Yeah, and see, that's why I told you why I wanted to go back down memory lane, because I mean, Coach, I'm telling you, and this is what I'm trying to teach young players. Like, they don't have conversations with their coaches, right? They just listen to the plays, take the plays, and just go out and try to execute them. What I was doing at a very young age was just saying, Coach, if you believe in us, we believe in you, but you got to believe in us too. And I'll never forget when rest in peace, Mr. Wright, of course, from Bartow and everything, but he messed around and came in there crying at halftime.
He did. I felt bad.
Yeah, and we all felt bad. And I'm like sitting there saying to myself, how we losing 13-0 to these people, man? And we know, what are we doing? And I never forget, I'm like, Coach, look, man, look, I'm with you. But, man, you got to put me in this bone, and you got to let me touch this football every play. I guarantee you I'm going to get it. And
now, you know,
I tell these stories.
Yeah, you know why they got afraid. You know what you had in front of you? You had
Tommy Lane,
265 pounds, and then Steve Franklin was 230 pounds, and they coming down at that defensive end. He folding up like a tent. See, and the rest was history. That was it. I'm going to tell you something else you did. We never talked about this, but do you remember when we were in the playoff? You came home that Friday with us, and you guys got some of that chili Miss Joe fix, and so you was in the front seat of that Praise the Lord pickup truck.
Yeah.
And we was on Interstate 4 heading back to the school. Yep. And I'm gonna tell you where we were near, because one day I'm gonna write a book. So I'm gonna tell you ahead of time. I'm gonna write a book about coaching the best ever, and all of these stories gonna be in there. I promise you. We were near Cracker Barrel on the interstate, and I asked you a question. I said, Ray, I played you at every position except for flanker. Could you play flanker? He said, yeah, I can play flanker. I read in the paper that week, they say, wherever number 22 go on offense, you got to go with them, because that's where the football going to go. So I said, listen, our first play from the line of scrimmage. Yes, sir. I said,
put me at receiver.
Yes, sir.
Take the reverse.
That is.
Ken Bridges went 77 yards.
77 yards. And they followed you all the way, and that boy went up the end zone. I said, look at here. I said, that's the play. That's going to be called a play on Interstate 4. We drew that up on Interstate 4. And so it's amazing. Folks might don't understand that. And then when you won the game against Jesuit for us,
85-yard punt return.
Hardly no time on the clock. You go 89 yards on a punt return. We win the game 7-6.
Yeah.
So those are just that. And see, you played punt returner. You told me I can do it all. You're very confident, and that's what I try to tell. You got to know that you know.
Yeah.
And that's why I used to say, if you said it, that sells it, Bo. You know. So that's the kind of mindset that these guys got to have right now. That kind of mindset.
See, and that's why, and see, what was interesting was, if you remember, we had that same conversation when we went to Boca Ciega. Remember when we played Boca Ciega?
Yes, sir.
Then it was raining. It was raining bad.
Exactly.
And they had that fast. They had that really fast scat back. And so me and Steve said we got him. But remember, I kept saying, you came to me. I said, Coach, listen, we got to keep the ball on the ground. Just let field position change. We gonna figure it out. And we messed around and beat them 6-0 just because of how played, how we conversated every time. And this is a lesson for somebody who's listening, right? You may think the coach won't listen. The coach will listen if you do your job and is willing to do his job,
Exactly.
but right, coach. And I'm telling you, man, coach, seriously, I tell this story. I tell these stories, I promise you, twice a week, because it's hard for people to kind of understand. I'm like, listen, I got him to trust me. I'm telling you. And then I tell people all the time, and they think I'll be playing. I say, look, I'm just being honest. My senior year, you didn't have a better running back than me touching the ball. Not my senior year. If I can touch it, I'm telling you, I was gonna dance with it. Yeah. So it's interesting that we're having this conversation, because where I lead next is when we got to the end of my road and we lost to Fort Myers and my heart was broken. Yeah. And I'll never forget when you walked in the door and I was like, you remember that day I was crushed. I was crushed, coach, because it was like, for me, what's next? What's next, right? So as a coach, as a father figure, when that ended, and this 3-month stretch, I want to say, where we had this recruiting that wasn't really big for me, right? How did you see that version of it when me leaving college, when me leaving high school, knowing, I'm just being honest, coach, look, I mean, I did what I did, but I didn't believe that Melvin Pilsaw was better than me. I didn't believe that other boy from Haines City was better than Derek Gibson was better. I just didn't because I outplayed both of them head-to-head battles, but I just didn't get a recruiting spot. But your confidence in me kept me working out, kept me focused. Same thing I just told your nephew. It just kept me grinding. What was your perspective of that time? And when you got the call from the University of Miami, tell me about that day. Yep.
Well, first of all, you know, I'm going to be biased because I felt in my heart that you were better than any of those guys, because I knew that you could do so many things. And, you know, I got upset, and I try not to let you see that, especially about the Georgia-Florida football game. I called over and talked to the guy from Manatee. I say, can he at least be an alternate? He should be in there, you know. And then when that young man got the MVP, and I don't know if you remember this conversation, he got the MVP of our district. And I told you in that room, I said, don't you worry about none of this. I said, you're going to surpass all of this. Just watch what I'm saying. Watch what I'm saying. You're going to surpass all of this. We might not get what we want right then, but we just continue to be positive and things like that. And then from there, you know, from recruiting, and when Tommy Tuberville came that day and said that they had openings at linebackers at Miami, and he had already he said, you tell him that we're gonna pursue. And then the rest was history, boss. And I knew then when you went in there, and in the summer you called me out of practice one day, and I heard your voice say, Coach. I said, boy, he must be burning them up. He must be burning them up. And you said you were having a lot of fun. So I knew then that, you know, and I'm going to tell you one more thing.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to be successful, but I'm going to tell you when I put my finger on it and said that, I don't know if I ever told you this. I never said that I know he's going to be NFL. But I'm going to tell you when I said it, and I said it to myself. I ain't tell nobody else. I'm going to tell you what game and where I was at, and I put it down that you were gone.
Okay.
I was working on my master's over in Tampa, and they had a satellite building over at Tampa Jefferson. That's where we would meet. Well, right across the street when we go to lunch was a bar, sports bar. I love that because, see, you know, I'm going to watch the game. I'm watching it. Give me a chance to watch the little game. Then I got to go back for another 3 hours. But this particular day, y'all had played Colorado. And I'm going to tell you what they said. I caught the end of it. They say Chevrolet player of the game. And they can research this and see if I'm right.
No, you're right.
Chevrolet player of the game.
Yeah.
Ray Lewis, 17 solo.
Yeah.
17 solo. And then how many others sit? I say, Lord. I said, he gone. I said, he gone. I said it right there. I said, you know what I mean? Now you were still young. You weren't able enough. You weren't able enough to go. You couldn't.
No, I was a freshman. I was a freshman. I just got there.
I said then that Coach Joe said it then that he can play in the NFL. You got 17 solo. You ain't bringing none but that Bobby Boucher. And I said, he's gone. Man, I finished my lunch that day. And, you know, they say you hit somebody so hard. And when you hit the guy so hard, he was saying, mama said, mama said, mama said. That's what they did on Bobby Boucher, but mama said. But anyway, that particular day, I had said in my heart, I said, he's going to play in the NFL. Now, don't think that coach didn't believe that you could go. I'm not saying that.
Right.
Before that, right. I want to see how you progress.
Right.
I want to see how you're going to play. And if you, and you know what? I knew what was in you now. Don't get me wrong. You know, because some kids get to the next level and then all of a sudden they don't bring what they used to bring. But boss, you brought that and more.
Right.
But that particular day, I said, it's all over, baby.
Yeah.
It's all over.
Yeah, Keith Jackson, the famous Keith Jackson did that game. Him and Brent Musburger, man. I told you, it's been, Coach, I'm telling you, in my life, just because of the way it went, I've just had a chance to go backwards. That's why I needed to talk to you. Seriously, because I'm going back and we just had the 20-year anniversary of the first Super Bowl we won in Tampa. Of course, you was too. And so we had the anniversary, but when I'm going backwards, I'm saying, wow, I love the NFL talk, right? And all the people I'm talking to, but I was like, I can't go backwards unless I go talk to the man who took me home from school, who fed me while I couldn't eat, who made sure that I didn't stay on the corners too long, and who made sure that my grades was always right. I got to go back and talk to Coach Joe, and who the man who claims that his hands better than Muhammad Ali's. So I'm just
yes, they are. You know, if I go out of state, I have to register with the whatever agency there because I'm serious. You know, they certified and you know things like that. When I go across the state, I have to go and you know get certified with the hands. So.
So give me that year. We had one heck of a ride.
Yes.
Give me the one game or the one play that you remember the most out of that one season. And it don't have to be me. I just want to hear the play.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. It's so many games I can pull out. But I'm.
It's okay to say more than one. It's okay to say more than one.
Okay, but let me just tell you. Let me just tell you the one where you know you can sit down and say, man, this kid told me, give him a chance, give him the ball early. Yeah. Stop holding me just back on defense. We're gonna win defense, coach. But I want to run that ball too. I want to help the team. Yeah. In every angle I possibly can. Yeah. And it will probably be that Haines City game, coach. And you remember that Haines City game, we went right down on the 1 yard line with no time on the clock, and we went in the end zone to win. But the momentum started with your 81 yard. That's the one I'm gonna write about in the book. 81 yards, and the way people, you had about 8 or 9 people to touch you. Right. And you just weaved and went in and went out and you know, and what we did now, here's what now Haines City had a great defense. They ran a 53 defense. 53 defense, that's right. And they beat us that year before, and all I did is try to stand that out. I said, I gotta spread them out. Yeah. And I said, if we spread them out, the linebackers now got to come out and get over the slot. Yeah. And then I said, I'm gonna put you at one back, and we're gonna run a quick trap where that guard can come. And the rest was history, boss. You went through there, and that was just amazing. And that's got the momentum for that game. Yeah. That's how we won that. And we had some fresh cookie game. And then the next one would probably be the 89-yard touchdown you ran back on them in Tampa Jesuit. Jesuit. Yeah. And then the Winter Haven game when I tried to run you till you couldn't breathe no more. and you just 5, 6 yards every time you touch the ball, 5, 6 yards. And we won that game. That game was probably 15, 14, 15, 13. That was a close game.
15-9.
Okay.
You know I don't forget nothing.
What I'm telling you, boss, that game was set up between you and that other guy. That guy was
Dimitri Denmark.
The fastest guy I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, Dimitri Denmark.
Yeah. But Showtime was, you remember? You probably forgot this. You had his initials in your head.
No. Listen. I used to. My uncle, Uncle Curtis. My Uncle Curtis used to cut everybody who thought they was big. I had Dimitri who with a question mark.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Just like with Haines City, I had Derek who with a question mark.
Yeah. You calling it? You know, he went and played baseball straight out of high school.
Yep.
And but just those games and just you became the more you got involved in offense, that meant that those guys that week had to prepare for you on offense and defense.
Yeah.
And I probably should have been thinking that when I first came over there, but I didn't want to change my way.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to. So when the guy from down in Fort Myers said in the paper, that's why you got to read the clippings. He said, whatever number 22 goes on offense, you got to go with him because he got the ball. I said, okay, I got you. I got you. We're going to fake it this time. And I told you to stay down like you got it and just run on over to the other sideline.
Yeah, that was the funniest thing.
But no, those are some great times, man.
I'm going to fast forward. I'm going to get you out of here. Because I can go all day with this. But when I say these words and you know our relationship, I want to know the first things that come out of your mouth. Canton, Ohio.
Now let me say this. Let me say thank you first of all. I probably needed to say this early, and then I'm gonna come to Canton. I want to thank you for allowing me to be on the road with you. What I mean by on the road, you brought me up to several of your football games in Baltimore. You didn't have to do that for Coach, but you found in your heart to say, I want Coach to come. I want to thank you for allowing me to go to that final Super Bowl with you. You said, come on, let's ride, Coach. I want to thank you for that in New Orleans. And I don't know if you remember this conversation. We were driving back home that day, and I called you, and I said, thank you very much. And I said, your next step, baby, is Canton, Ohio. That was 2013. And I spoke the words, and you say, Coach, I know. I say, I'm telling you, your next step there. Yeah. And then I want to thank you for, Coach and the wife went to Canton. Now, that's an experience I never forget. Never forget. To be able to see, you hear about that and you read about that, but to be there and enjoy the festivities and to see where, Coach can talk a lot, but that day when I was at the Friday night event where all those players came up in there, I was starstruck. I couldn't hardly say nothing, man. Couldn't hardly talk. And finally, you was in the circle along with Eddie George and the bus. And you told the bus and Eddie George said, man, I used to run the ball. No, you said, Coach Joe, come on. And that's all I needed right there, boy. I started telling them how you run. And then the other thing I want to thank you for, because you didn't have to do that, and that wasn't my purpose for going. You didn't have to. I couldn't hardly get up. And then you said, Ernest, Joe, stand up the second time. I stood up, dog. So Canton, Ohio is the summit, man. Yeah. And knowing that you were there with all the memories, and I had a chance to go behind my wife and I behind the scene there and touch that bus and take a picture with it, and knowing that I want to say this now, a piece of me is in the hall with you, baby.
Absolutely.
That's amazing, and I always will be appreciative and honored to say that I had a young man that gave his all and not only gave his all, gave it to others and helped inspire them that's in the Hall of Fame. And I had a chance to go there and witness that. So that was a blessing for Coach, man. So when I think of the Hall of Fame, I think of Ray Lewis and all of the work that you put in order to get. Nobody gave you nothing, baby.
Right.
But an opportunity.
That's it.
You know, that's all. Nobody didn't give you nothing. You earned everything. You brought that Bobby Boucher to work every day. So that's what I think about when I think about Canton, baby.
And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna leave you at Canton, and I'm gonna leave you with this one memory ever. We had on the first practice we had on shoulder pads and shorts. And you said, we just going half speed. Everybody stay up. stay up. And we started running plays. And the first person I hit, and you come over and said, boy, I just told you this time. The second person and I just came, and you came over there and I said, Coach, I don't know number one speed.
Yes. Yeah, you hit that boy and he spent like a top. And you know, I brought that where you go full gear on Monday, Tuesday, then you go shoulder pads and shell. And boy, when you hit that boy, I thought they were gonna call 911. And you just told me, say, I don't know the one speed. And I accepted that. And I never wanted you to go back and take something away that wasn't there. I was just trying to protect and those things like that. But that's the mentality. That's the mentality that's why I brought it up.
That's why I brought it up, because that mentality ended me in Canton.
Yes,
right?
Sir.
But it was a coach, but it was a coach in you and me saying thank you to you for inspiring that and let me be that. Let me be, you know what I'm saying? Like I was like before I leave here, if I don't say this, Coach, I'm telling you, you saved my life, right? Like you gave me structure that I didn't have, right? You gave me mentorship that I know that if I would have never gotten your mentorship, your leadership, your discipline, just the way you are. And that's why it's sad that a lot of other people did not grasp a hold to what you was trying to tell them. But I grabbed it and I held it and I still hold it to this day. That's why every moment of my career, there's no moment that I don't, whether it's high school, whether it's college, whether it's professional, whether it's the Hall of Fame, whether it's the top 100. Every time I talk, I tell the people about this man who let me be me. And that's why we do what we do. Coach, listen, man.
Well, I'm thankful. I'm very blessed for the kind words and those things. Coach hair thin now, so nothing goes to my head. You know what I'm saying? No, I appreciate that, man. I'm just thankful to be able to laugh and have a good time, man.
Oh, Coach, listen, I love you, man. Thank you for coming on.
Love you too.
Yeah, Coach, just absolutely amazing. I'll text you later, but thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Sir.
Amazing.
And I'll just stay on and watch the rest of the show.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Wow. That's what I truly believe. And I'm going to jump into this really quickly because that's what I truly believe when you talk about checking in. What does it mean to really check in sometimes, right? Sometimes checking in is, we think we got to go so fast and we're in this new era of life where we need to check everything new. But sometimes checking in is going back and checking in with the old, with the faithful, right? With the few that has been there from day one. Like what Coach Joe installed in me at 45, I still live it to this day. And that has nothing to do with the coach's role, but it has everything to do with a father's responsibility. And that for me is what's been going on in my life. Like I've just been in this moment of reflection, and I'm gonna challenge other people to take these times of trying times and go backwards for a minute. Go back and find out what really makes you happy and what brings joy to your spirit and what keeps you chasing life every day. When I have those conversations put me in a very unique place because I want to tear up just because I know how much love it was that man gave me. I remember him sitting there telling me it's going to be okay. But as a 17-year-old broke kid with no dreams and no hope, how do I know it's going to be okay? I believed him. I believed him that much to not let him down. That's what's going on with me. Look, I'm going to jump in this quick because this kind of the thoughts kind of go into kind of where I want to get into, right? To reach a certain level of greatness, and somebody's heard this before because you've heard me say it, but to reach a certain level of greatness, your comfort zone must be disturbed. You know, I spoke this at Papa Jake's church and at the Potter's house, and I've never gotten comfortable with my comfort zone. My coach being one of the reasons why. That man right there, he was an old school coach. You give him what he want, you run it one time. You don't give him what he want, you run it 10 times. It's simple math. It's simple math. And I learned something. That's why and let me tell you what I learned. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. If what you're doing don't break you to where you have to question yourself, and what I'm doing, does it really work? How does it make me feel? I'm telling you, if it don't challenge your every bit of your faith, your will, your grit, your determination, your focus, your commitment, your sacrifice, if it don't challenge you, let me tell you why. The comfort zone is the greatest enemy of courage and confidence. People ask me all the time, how did I play so long? Because my courage overrode my comfort zone. My confidence was only confident because I broke the barriers when it came to comfort zones. When people told you you were good, first Pro Bowl, second Pro Bowl, that's cute. Stay on that path. Don't watch no more film. Me and Rod Woodson just talking to this player from a linebacker in the league right now. We're telling him today, and I'm telling him how Rod Woodson broke my comfort zone. Because before training camp, he's in there running 12, 15, 100s up under 14 seconds. Y'all know what that means. Before practice, my comfort zone was disturbed. I had to remove myself from just looking at myself as a player. So then my comfort zone of wanting to have more sleep, I had to change it. Listen to me carefully. The comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing grows there. Nothing. The only thing that comes to a comfort zone, trust me when I tell you this, is broken hearts and unfulfilled promises. That's it. I'm in this space now, and I'm in this space of us going through a pandemic, and I'm listening to all of these voices rapping and singing and saying this and this show and that show and this show and that show. And I said, if you wanted to give somebody one thing while they're in this pandemic, what would you give them? Not only give them hope, give them the confidence that what they're looking for is found inside of them. And I'm telling you, if your comfort zone has become checking social media and what everybody else doing every day, I guarantee you'll find yourself completely unhappy. Because the only thing that excites you is a flick of a button, the scrolling of a screen. And the only thing that excites me at 45 is getting up every day and writing down my prayers and read my book and read my Bible and listening to what the Lord has to say. Is this is not about religion. This is just my foundation of me disturbing my comfort zone. The challenge today, as you heard what me and my coach went through, there were some things that coach was old school and he only knew one way. And coach switched up his comfort zone just because he believed in me. But a lot of athletes say, my coach don't believe in me. Maybe because you're not where you're supposed to be. See, sometimes you got to meet coaches halfway. And one thing that I respect about that man is I met him halfway. And he forever changed my life. I'm gonna round you up. I'm gonna round this up, man, because I'm just in that space. I'm in the space of grateful. I'm in that space of just pure joy in the midst of storms, in the midst of chaos. Why? Because I can go back to the first day that me and Coach Joe was standing on that field. And I looked at him and I said, Coach, I don't know nothing else. All I got is one speed, man. I'm going back to nothing. I'm not going back to daddy. Mama raising 5. This is my comfort. This is where I do what I do. And he said, go ahead, keep laying that Bobby Boucher. Just don't hurt none of my players. and I said, what coach says that? But I'm going to keep bringing it. And I'm telling you, like, I'm just on this other side of life, man, that I really want people to challenge themselves to go backwards and know your why. A lot of people have jobs, but don't know why they go to work. A lot of people run companies, but don't know why their employees are loyal to them. I'm gonna tell you my why. One of my whys is that man that you just spoke to and you heard speak, there are many fatherless kids in this world, and he took a chance on one. And every major memory that I accomplished, I took him with me because I wanted him to know that your investment, you ain't broke, not with this investment. You got your money's worth. And I'm telling you now, to get your money's worth out of yourself, I need you to write down 5 things this week that you're tired of doing. You can even write down 5 people that you don't want to talk to. But you got to ask yourself a real question. How long are you going to stay stuck in your comfort zone? How long? They say a righteous man's steps are ordered. They say faith is this thing that's unseen. So let's write it down so we can see it. And the next time that you get ready to approach a coach, approach a boss, approach a teacher, make sure you've done everything you need to do to disturb your comfort zone. Because when people see that you're really chasing your greatness, just like Coach Joe, they'll take a chance on you. My takeaways is simple, man. Like, life just doesn't get any better. And I guess today, I took away everything from going backwards again, something I've never did. That's been my high school coach since 1993. And we've had many conversations, but this was one of the first times that we went back and reflected on what we done and what we accomplished. And when the man believed in me, imagine this when you shake up your comfort zone. And I'm gonna end with this. Imagine this when you shake up your comfort zone, is when somebody believes in you and exactly what you told him to do. Ask him what happened one day when I ran that punt return back, what I came and told him. I told you. I told you. And that's the relationship we had. Get out your comfort zones. Write down 5 things that you need to change about your comfort zone. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's the way you view your finances. Maybe your friends. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's something you read. Maybe it's something you're listening to. And then write down 5 things that you're going to do new. It's the season of Lent anyway. I gave up a lot. But what I held on to the most is always shaking up my comfort zone. Can't thank you enough. The great Ernest Joe stopped and dropped his presence and dropped the mic and told us about them hands. They register in many states. So that's why I stayed in line. He's 6'5", you know, so he kind of look over you when he talking to you, you know, and he kind of hover over you. So he like to, you know, show up, okay, you run up on you, you want to. So I ain't never ran up on him. I ain't never tried. I ain't wanting them problems. So him sitting down in that chair, you didn't get a glimpse of how big the man is. The man, he huge now. He huge. So if he say something, it's best to listen. I'm still listening, Coach, and I appreciate you, man. But I appreciate everybody who came out tonight. Let's shake up our comfort zones so the people that's around us can see a better us every day. No excuses. Everyday greatness. Let's do it. God bless you.